Oh.
Yeah, there's a third of your money back.
You're not getting your money back. So you would get some money back, would you?
Potentially, potentially not. I mean, that's the contract you sign. And usually, you know, it depends on how well funded the team are. There are a lot of teams that we know well, that are massively well put together, great presentation, you know, well kitted out. But they're kind of hand to mouth, and the money that's coming in from drivers to drive in the next race go towards paying for the cars to get to the track, for the crew to be paid to get, you know, to run the car. And so the vast majority of your payment has already been spent by the time you get to the track.
Yeah, right.
So getting a full payment back is a chance that you take, and it's kind of industry standard, I think. There's a lot of other teams that are perhaps, you know, don't have to be, you know, well funded, that you maybe have a contract clause that says if you know you've got to, if you don't get 70% of the race, or you don't get 30% of it, or whatever, then you get some money back, or you get all of it back. It just depends on team to team. But the majority of teams that I know, that money's already gone, mate, by the time by the time the truck's turned up.
It's a funny world when you apply those sort of logics.
It's mental, mate.
From here,
quite frankly, it's mental. You know, how much money have you spent on going racing?
Quite a bit.
Yes. I once remortgaged. I once said to my then wife, "How much equity we've got in this house?" She said, "About 25 grand." Right, we need to remortgage it then. And then I just blew it all on tyres and engines. We had a great season in 1991. European karting, did every special Cold Street race, Metro Centre race, the lot, did everything.
All from memory.
All part of the experience.
All part of the experience, yeah. Yeah, it's a funny world. Be a billionaire to become a millionaire.
Yeah.
That was a change of position while we were talking, by the way. That was Alexander Prince up to 11th, followed by Pascovicius up to 9th. Sorry, Prince up to 8th, Pascovicius up to 9th, getting ahead of Nicholas Hullink. In 10th position. There he is in that Haas RT car, and as we've spoken a little bit earlier on, he is really learning his very first experiences of racing. This is a test session for him, so he is the slowest of the three in that car. It's the car that won the last race in Misano, and so quite logically dropping down the field, but just gaining and gaining experience. And you know, when a car drives in past you like that, and faster car, if you can hold on to them, you can learn so much. If you can sit and just go, right, that's a championship leader, I'm just going to sit behind them for a couple of laps and work out how they're going so fast.
Yeah.
I used to learn a lot by doing that. Sort of half put its nose up the inside there, and Hamo for BMW happily taking the corner.
In complete contrast to the overall lead of this race in the GT3 category, which is obviously the primary, the fastest category, the 992 class has been pretty static.
Yeah,
as far as Mulder Motorsport have been quite strong, or very strong in fact, quite dominant. Martin Rump, I see, back at the wheel of the 921. They're 13th overall. They've completed 152 laps, and they are at least a lap ahead of everyone else in the class. And I'm not quite sure how they've done that.
Well, let's colour that from what happened with the Code 60s, because everything was normal, and then the Code 60 came out. The number 921, our leader, Martin Rump, he was only halfway through a stint, or not even, and pitted under that Code 60, so got a 25% fill up, and is kind of close to the end of his stint now. Same applied to the 902 Holmgaard car. Jonas Holmgaard coming a bit, actually came in slightly later, also pitted under Code 60, also has the same amount of fuel probably in that car. Same applied to RPM as well with Nicholas Jonsson. Nicholas Jonsson had done 23 laps actually, so he'd done more, then did the Code 60 pit stop and has done another 23. And I was wondering where Red Camel had gone in that. The difference is Red Camel, similar strategy beforehand, but they pitted under Code 60 number 1, changed driver, changed tyres, put Ivo Breukers in the car, and actually came out of the pit just as the Code 60 went back to green, and then so they took a 25%, but they then came in for the second Code 60 as well. So they put another 25% into the car. So they are fuel richer than the 3 cars ahead of them, and probably also better with their tyres than the 3 cars ahead of them. So it's
so when the 3 cars ahead of them come into the pits for fuel, it's a fuel restricted stint this for the 3 cars in 992. It's already been in after 16 laps, did you see?
And it's coming again after 16 laps and changed to Rick. So that's why they're really far down. But why did they need to do that? Why did Evo...
Well, Evo's done quite a chunk of time.
Okay, so Evo
17 laps, then 3. Came in under purple.
I was wondering why they did a 3.5 minutes. They must have got caught in the fuel bays or something, because there's no reason why their pit stop should be a minute and a half longer than the others during that same code 60. But yeah, they've done a lot more pit stops, and having to change to Rick recently has really hurt them under green flag conditions, because it was a short stop. They haven't fueled up.
Exactly 1 minute.
Standby caller. 1 minute 13. So, Diana, there's a mission for you if you have the legs and the ability to go and find out what strategy call has befallen Red Camel's Jordan, because pitting under both code 60s and then pitting again 16 laps later on a short stop without refueling by the looks of things. Hang on, where is the... Yeah, they didn't go to refuel at all. They came in and changed Evo out for Rick. So I wonder whether that is another driver going where it's too hot here.
Well, he'd done 17 laps plus 3 with a little bit of a break into the pits,
yes, and then
he did another 16.
Just
so he'd done a lot of laps.
Yeah.
And so it might have been, but Di can maybe have a chat to Evo. He's now in the pit garage. He'll be in the air-conditioned splendour of the office.
Don't say Trussers. What are you doing?
You can't interrupt Trussers during a race, mate.
Ben Constanduris has suggested your Strasser is out.
Yeah.
I'll go and criticise him for once.
Yes. Yes.
After yesterday, him criticising me about using the wrong tyre graphics or tyre data, and then actually turning out not to be correct anyway. Leader in the pits, Joseph Kral, Scuderia Praha in pit lane, so has already done fueling. And hasn't done a long fueling, has he? What is going on here? 3, so he was due a fuel stop because he'd done 33 laps, but he is, unless that is wrong, and it's...
Unless he's still in fueling, you mean?
I think he's still in fueling in the sense of saying he's in pit lane. The big P there on your timing screen suggests he's in the pits. It goes to F when he's in fueling, and that would be weird if he was not in the pits after 2.5 minutes when he would need fuel. Sorry, not in fuel when he needs fuel.
Yeah, he definitely needs fuel.
All of the questions, I don't know if I'm going doolally or just everything's going doolally because the heat.
No, it's probably you. We'll see when he appears on pit road.
Answers on a postcard.
Yes. We know for a fact he needs fuel, so he's been in the pits for 3 minutes, so I think we're speculating correctly. 4:33 minutes, so I think we're speculating correctly.
Apply those sort of logics.
It's mental, mate.
From here,
quite frankly, it's mental. How much money have you spent on going racing?
quite a bit.
Yes. I once remortgaged. I once said to my then wife, how much equity we've got in this house? She said about 25 grand. Right, we need to remortgage it then. And then I just blew it all on tyres and engines. We had a great season in 1991. European.
Hang on, where is the... Yeah, they didn't go to refuel at all. They came in.
Hits 4:33 minutes, so I think we're speculating correctly. It's 4:33 minutes, so I think we're speculating correctly. Yeah, I mean, they're great cars and would be very welcome in this type of endurance race if you want to move away from sprint-type clubbies. And the other thing about coming to the 24H series, if you are a car owner, you can spread the cost of the race by, hiring the seats, hiring, or even just, getting a group of similar-minded people who have experience in driving the car, and it spreads the cost across 3 or 4 drivers for the long-distance stuff, which is the very concept, the very idea, the ideal behind this way of going motor racing. The orange and blue livery Proton Hoover competition Porsche now at the front of the field. It's been chased down though by Kobe de Bruyke in the number 93 Red Ant Racing Mercedes. 2 minutes 5.544 for Manuel Lauk in the Proton car. 2 minutes 5.548. 1.9 seconds the gap at the front. That's how close. We've got an absolute stomper of a battle there that is developing at the front of this field for the overall lead. And with inside of the second half, we've had half time, we've had our sliced oranges, and we're back out for the second half now and a run to the flag. Battle for 7th, very close battle there as well, with the gap about less than a second. Palias Pesavicius in the RD Sainz Lamborghini with the Dennis Vasek Scuderia Park after the pit stop, coming out of the pits and now trying to get back through the traffic.
I mean, yes, it's a battle, but Pascavicius is on 47 lap old tyres if the tyre graphic is working, and he himself has been on those tyres since 2:15, so he's nearly coming up to a 2-hour stint, so he's a bit knackered, tyres are a bit knackered, and he's got a Scuderia Praha with brand new tyres chasing him down, so it's not a surprise that Ferrari looking stronger.
Yeah, he's fresh, isn't he? He's fresh.
What we do...
When they come across the start-finish line...
What we do need to try and work out is what's going on with the 71, because Tim Muller was just underneath us. Literally, it was underneath our commentary position. Has been in the pits now for 8 minutes. That is longer than you should be if you are just doing a normal service. And that's only one car who's been really in the thick of things and right in the mix. So, problem for Jutta Racing, Audi.
Still doing empanelments yourself on old SAS platforms? On the Wealthy Partner app. 45 plus 8.
And find out.
Only 0.2 of a second at the line. We'll keep an eye on that 7th and 8th place battle. It seems to be a matter of time before Vasek in the Scuderia Power Ferrari finds a way past Pascavesius, and there it is. Tries to get down the inside and not quite coming off for the Ferrari. He waits to fight another corner or two, following the Lamborghini onto the back straight now, onto the Mistral, and down towards the Nord chicane. They are nose to tail heading down to the Nord chicane. Let's see if he's going to wait for the slingshot out of the chicane. Vasek looking for a way by and into. He doesn't want to hold himself up. It's a fight for position here as they continue on then. Still no change. Still the battle at the front continues with a little bit of a cushion now being created by Manuel Lauk. And still the Ferrari trying to find a way by towards Singh corner, through Singh into Bosse. Using all of the curb and more, the Ferrari looking down the inside. And they are now through Bosse. And the Lamborghini, if anything, is just holding that tighter line, making the job ever harder for... And as we come out of the final turn and across the line, the Ferrari's gone for it and will come across the line ahead of the Lamborghini. So Denis Vasek lost about what, do you reckon, Ben? About 2 laps, just being held up slightly. I mean, I'm saying held up. It's the Lamborghini, Paulius Pascavesius, is quite within his rights to hold up that Ferrari as long as he can.
He owes us a pit stop. And to be fair, the pass sort of looked half like he just missed the apex and understeered really wide, and half like, okay, come through, I've held you up enough.
Well, maybe the tyres on the Ferrari allowed him to kind of do that, the tighter switchback kind of thing.
But expect the Ferrari to disappear now. Diana's down in the pits.
It's hot, isn't it, Di? Di's got heat stroke.
I thought I was waiting on Septaju Racing, but I wasn't. I am at Septaju Racing, but it's a 910 car that's just coming in, and they are having a complete, they've not changed driver, so they've just put new tyres and cleaned the windscreen, and off it goes. So that's why I got confused, because the other car is clearly just on its way in, because the driver is standing here waiting. So Paul Meyer looking like he's getting ready to get in that. So they're having a quick clean up here and expecting the next car, the one that I thought was arriving, any minute now. Then I'll head back down to the other end of the pit lane to find out what was going on with the Jutta number 71 that you mentioned.
Di needs a cold rosé, doesn't she? Just to chill that blood up to the brim. Hang on, the what? The technique to cool down. See, now this is back to Ben's idea of 6 hours followed by 6 hours. Everything will be cooling off now. Yeah, especially Di. With a glass of wine in her hand.
5.5 hours remaining.
Yes, well, I mean, this is the thing, Ben. We knew coming into this race, we knew before we got here, let's not talk about getting here, but we knew before we got here that Paul Ricard, over the years, as always, by its very nature, become a race of attrition. And that is purely down to the beautiful high temperatures that are created here in July. Come to Paul Ricard in July. Yeah, it's going to be hot and sunny. Yeah, we know. That's the challenge. That is the challenge. There's the challenge. Look at the Septaju car. Oh, liberal.
You missed this bit. This was your lunch break, I think.
No, I saw the bonnet had folded up on itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the
absolute disrespect for tank taping.
That is poor tank tape work. Yes.
No.
Oh, lads, you've done it wrong.
No.
Tape as possible, and there's like 3 guys around the front of this now just trying to tape up the front of the car, and it's taking quite a bit of time, but I do think that it's because of the heat. It's not quite sticking as well as they want, but there's a little bit of anxiousness going on around the car while they're trying just to sort that. They keep pushing onto that bonnet, and it's sort of still moving slightly, so they're just trying to get underneath to get a bit of a better grip at the bottom there. But yeah, it's going to be here for a few minutes or more, I think.
See the gap there, that big hole in the left-hand side, driver's left-hand side of the bonnet, the right-hand side as we are able to look at it in the pit lane. That shouldn't be there. That's just creating a massive umbrella of wind and air.
Are you sure it's not
through there?
there?
I'm pretty sure that's a...
No, it's ducting. It goes down. I'm pretty sure it goes down to the brakes.
Well, have they blocked that duct on the right there?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just looking at. Because if you look at the Ajithkumar car behind, it has the middle nostril and then 2 side nostrils.
I thought they were blocking those nostrils up.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome along to the south of France and to Paul Ricard for the 12 hours of Paul Ricard, the penultimate round of the 24H series.
The Lamborghini saw Dennis Vashek lost about what, do you reckon, Ben? About 2 laps, just being held up slightly? I mean, I'm saying held up. It's with the Lamborghini.
The middle nostril and then 2 side nostrils.
I thought they were blocking those nostrils up.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome along to the south of France and to Paul Ricard for the 12 hours of Paul Ricard, the penultimate round of the 24H series for 2025. We are under blue skies and pretty hot conditions for a full, straight 12-hour race. All the way through, no breaks, no dividing the race into 2 different days. This is a straight 12-hour race with a grid of 32 cars. And as I said, it forms the penultimate round of the European series of the 24H series, which began in Mugello back in March. We then visited Spa in April, which were 2 split 12-hour races. Misano was a straight 12-hour, much like we have here at Paul Ricard. And then at the end of September, the traditional closer to the European series, the Barcelona 24 hours, the only 24 hours on the 24-hour series calendar for 2025. And then, newly announced, the start of December, there is a new race, the Sepang 12 hours, now promoted by Preventic, and very excited to get cars over for the start of the Middle Eastern Championship. As I mentioned, it's blue skies out there, a little bit of dust and haze blowing in from the Sahara, but our sensors at the moment saying an air temperature of 30 degrees. I'm sure the arch and the bridge over the grid that's forming is saying it's a little bit warmer, and we're expecting 36 degrees, which means around 60 degrees track temperature. Oh my lord, those Michelin tyres are going to take a beating. Those drivers in those cars are going to take a beating. This is going to be a proper endurance challenge for all of our teams. It's been a lot of drama already in the practice and qualifying days, and we have set our grid. On that grid, melting away already, is our little Scottish lady, Diana Binks. Morning, Diana, how are you? You hopefully not too warm.
Good morning, Ben. Good morning, everyone. Yes, it was pretty warm down here. Trying to stay in the shade as much as possible before the race gets underway. But let's show you what these competitors are challenging for. This trophy here is what they will receive if they end up on the top step of the podium. Morning, ladies. How are you? You well? Very well. They've got the brodies ready, so they're keeping quite cool down there. Let's go back onto the grid now, and if we have a look at Into Africa Racing by Dragon Speed, they took pole position yesterday, and I think everyone might be in the shade. I think they are over there. So let's go and see if we can see Exo and Axel. If we could have a little chat, dragging them out of the shade, unfortunately, to get them next to the car, so you can see this incredible car here. Axel, first of all, how are you feeling this morning?
Pretty good. We slept well. It's a little bit hot today. I think it's a bit hotter than it's been a weekend, so it'll be a long one, but we'll see how it goes.
What's the strategy plan for the race? Obviously, you picked up as much information as you could. Yesterday, we had a nice chat during the qualifying session. You were happy with the pace that you found. What's the strategy from what you learned yesterday going into today?
I think at the end with racing, we're just going to give it our all every single lap. The most important thing with endurance racing is just no mistakes, keeping the car in one piece, and just trying to be consistent, and then we'll see where we are after 12 hours.
What's the approach for the start going to be for you?
For sure, we have to try and optimize. I mean, we've got other pros starting as well, and we need to try and create a bit of a gap Bond drivers jump in. So there's no real strategy, just to go out there and drive this.
Looking forward to it? Thank you. Thank you, Axel. Good luck to you and the team, and alongside them in the Red Ant Racing number 93, I can see a few familiar faces here, but let's talk to the man in charge, of course, first of all. How are you, sir, this morning?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Very well, very hot, but very well. We keep saying that all day, unfortunately. So how are the team feeling? You've had a chance to have a chat after qualifying yesterday. What's your approach going to be for the race?
We're going to try to win it. So that is always the approach of our team. It's always been like that. And after qualifying, we're very happy. It's getting a habit to be on second place. We're trying for next race to be on first position for one time. But apart from that, winning the front row is always good.
Great work by you and the team. I see Kobe's over here. I think Kobe is starting the race. He's in the shade, quite sensibly in the shade down here. Kobe, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good. I slept well, and I think it will be a tough race, so try to keep ourselves cool and make the best out of it.
Obviously here at Paul Ricard it's an interesting circuit, and how challenging do you find it, and what do you think is the benefit of a circuit like this?
There are quite some challenging corners, for example seniors quite fast and some long corners which are a lot longer than you expect, but I think the track suits us quite well, so we're happy to be here.
What's your approach for the start going to be?
Well, first things first, keep it safe, and then we will see what happens after the first corners, and just follow a bit, nothing too aggressive. It's a long race, it will be quite hot, so keep it safe is the main thing.
What do you look to learn on the installation laps before you come back round and form up on the grid?
Not really much to learn, just I can get the tires at the temperature quite good, and see how everyone's a bit behaving. You can always see a bit what they're going to do from their installation lap, but no, not really anything to learn. The learning days are far behind us.
And physically and mentally, obviously you're an experienced racing driver. How important is it to have everything in place before the start of the race?
You must be having this question.
And
Aditya, how AI can save 95% of my work? Let me tell you something. If you integrate AI, you do not need to create your presentations manually ever again. You do not need to analyze data in your Excel. That can be done by AI. And you do not need to code as well. That also can be done by AI. And if you want to learn which tools to use, then join me for my 3-hour workshop on AI tools and ChatGPT, where I'm going to explain you everything in detail. And this workshop does not have any prerequisite knowledge required, and anyone can join and get benefited out of this workshop. Hi, I'm Ajithkumar and I'm an alumni of IIT Cockpit. I'm someone who is absolutely passionate about all these AI tools. That's why I have personally used 1400 AI tools and found 10 most useful AI tools for every working professional. And I'm going to conduct workshop on the set. So what are you waiting for? Click on the link below, sign up for my workshop. I'll see you inside my workshop.
He's disappeared. Pierre's gone? No? Let's have a little chat with you now. How are you? Well, I don't mind. If no one's here and you're here, are you starting?
No, I'm not the driver for the starting. It's Elia, and I'm in car 18. So Elia is not here for the moment.
Keeping in the shade, I imagine.
We are ready and we are in pole position, so it's not bad. All the staff make a very good job. The car is very perfect, honestly. It's a big pleasure to drive in this amazing track also, and all is clear for us. So we will see. It's a long race, 12 hours.
Philippe, when are you getting in the car?
Maybe, if I remember, it will be at 2 p.m. normally, 2 to 3 p.m. Something like this for a long speed.
See the team and yourselves back, and I hope you have a good race.
Thank you, Gary.
Okay, so we'll wander a little bit further down the grid here. We catch up with Scuderia Yamaha, who are the championship overall leaders at the moment, and they're lining up in row 6. So I think the drivers and stuff are now in the car, so oh no, I can see Joseph Barr. He's hiding under a brolly out of the way, which makes perfect sense. Joseph, how are you this morning?
To be honest, a little bit hot, but otherwise perfect.
A nice cool jacket on. Is it doing its job?
Yes, it does, and also it's a holder for my umbrella, so it's even easier for me than a freelance.
What are the main challenges of a 12-hour endurance race like this, knowing about all the factors that we're experiencing right now and the things that happen during the race? What, from your perspective, are the main challenges?
Well, for sure the heat, because you have to manage the tires somehow just to survive, but still keep the pace, because as you can see during the qualifying, the rhythm and the speed of the other cars is really weak and really high, so you have to really push a lot. So during even that's 12 hours race, you still have to do qualifying, like qualifying now, so you really have to push a lot, but still manage the tires and fuel, which will not be easy during these super high temperatures. Otherwise, yeah, just survive, because it will be.
How tough physically is this circuit?
Well, to be honest, it's not too bad, luckily, because you have some long straights, and so you can cool down a bit. We have also air conditioning in the car, which we don't use that much, and it doesn't work that much, but at least we have it. So sometimes, occasionally, you can turn it on to cool down the cabin inside, so it was a little bit better. But overall, I think it will be quite fine. But still, it's long distance and the temperatures are very high. So after lunch, it will be really demanding.
Are you thinking about the overall championship at the moment, or is it just race by race for you?
Definitely race by race, because you never know, especially during these long races, you cannot do it that you will start to think before the race, okay, this one we have to take safely or we want to win. Because if you start to plan this, then you have still 12 hours to go. So it's a long plan, especially the next race will be 24-hour race, so you have to really go one by one.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope you have a good race, Joseph, from yourself and the team.
Thank you.
We will wander a bit further down at the grid. We will give you a little bit of an idea of the track and what to expect, but we're just going to wander down and see if we can find some other cars that are ready to go. They're all lined up. They've all got their windscreen shields on just to sort of keep everything as cool as possible. Now, Euro Motorsport number 81. I can see Jake Hill here and Ryan. Jake, I'm guessing because you've got your overalls on and he's drinking coffee, Ryan that is, drinking coffee, you're starting the race. How are you feeling today?
I'm actually not, no. Andreas is going to start. I took the car to the grid just to make sure it was cool. But yeah, the car's feeling good. Euro Motorsport done a fantastic job. And I think, yeah, me and Ryan are buzzing to get on later.
Do you like this circuit?
I do, yeah, it's nice. I mean, the heat was obviously quite a big factor for this weekend. The long stints become slightly more difficult, and obviously looking after the tyres and brakes, etc., become a little bit of a tricky situation as the race gets on. So just have to do our best and see how we go. But either way, I'm sure we're going to have a good race.
And Ryan, if I have just a quick chat with you as well, you're also waiting patiently. How are things going for you?
Good. Still back in Florida with this heat, so thankfully used to this a fair amount, but. Never raced here, so this will be my first time taking this box. Quite a lot of testing here, but never raced, but going to be pretty brutal for everybody.
What's going to be the biggest concern, do you think? You know that the factors always play, and but it's a 12-hour race, so you've got to manage it minute by minute. What do you think the biggest factors at this circuit, with the conditions that you're seeing around you, will bring?
Yeah, I'm probably going to hear it from everybody. It's just going to be the heat, tyres. They have a new rule this weekend on the tyre stint lengths. That's going to be a bit challenging, and then pickup's pretty bad here at the same time offline, so pretty good grid this week, good cars, lots of cars, so probably staying out of trouble is the key to every endurance race, but maybe more so this weekend than we've had so far this weekend, but we feel like we have good pace, so we'll see where we end up.
Right, what is it about endurance racing that you love, and why do you keep doing it?
It's because you get to kind of hang out and play with your best friends. You become your family every weekend, and I'm fortunate I get to work with Ira on 2 different programs. But it's I always say the time where I feel like I've kind of lost the flame in the belly a little bit is probably when I need to retire. But I think so it's pretty strong right now.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Ryan, we'll just continue on our walk down the grid if we can in this beautiful sunshine. But at the moment, I'll just let you get an idea of the track. We've got a track presentation to give you just to tell you about the track itself and corners, and then we'll come back to me down here on the grid with a few more drivers and teams to talk to.
Thank you very much, Diana. Let's have a look at this Paul Ricard circuit then, a 5.8-kilometre length circuit, an option for about 120 different layouts here at Circuit Paul Ricard. Such is the technology centre, but a massively high top speed at the back straight. The Mistral straight, famous in Formula 1 from the 1970s. The circuit built and opened in 1970 and named after Mr. Paul Ricard, the inventor of the Ricard pastis. And now let's have a look. As we go down towards turn 1, we'll be calling that Verrier, a big hard braking zone, and actually much tighter than even our track map suggests through turns 1 and 2. Then it's Hotel, Aéroport and Curve du Camp at the far end of the circuit. Got to get a good run through Saint-Barbe, turns 6 and 7, up the first part of the Mistral towards the Nord chicane, which breaks the Mistral straight into 2. And then the fast run towards Signes, which is not flat out, but pretty close and very much on the limit of adhesion. Through Beausset, the long right-hander, lots of different lines through there, and the final part of the lap. Exit of Dupont, very, very important to get a good lap time. And lots of opportunities for overtaking and getting past other traffic. So a really good place to come racing for the 24H series. And we're very excited to be here for a full 12 hours coming up with the green flag flying in approximately 13 minutes time, which means we can go back down to Diana and catch up with a few more of the stories at the back end of the grid.
Well, I've only made it halfway down, Ben, but GTX Pass Paul goes to Half Racing. And Sebastian, we chatted to you yesterday during qualifying. You're obviously not starting because you've not got your race suit on yet, but already. But how proud are you to be starting this, taking pole position ahead of this 12-hour race?
Yeah, but it's a good starting position. Now the race is 12 hours, so we've got to manage a safe start, I believe. Then gradually we'll go up. We'll see.
What's your strategy? Have you got a strategy plan in place that you're comfortable with?
Yeah, no, I think we are quite comfortable with the car. So the main issue now will be whether our car will last 12 hours.
Tyre management and obviously managing traffic will come into play during the race, but I'm guessing you'll be relishing that opportunity.
Yes, of course, yeah. But with